Ladies and gentlemen, I'd ask you to all rise as we welcome Reed Underwood-Lozin, a freshman at Blue Valley High School, for our national anthem. Reed.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Reed, thank you so much. How do these kids do that, huh? They nail it every year. It's fantastic. Very well done, Reed. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. It's great to have you all back again for our 23rd annual community breakfast. My name is John Holt with Fox 4 News, back again as your affable morning host. Bad lighting, no makeup, and I just woke up, so did the late show last night. Bear with me. It's great to be back, though, and an honor and a privilege to be a part of this event again this year. I see a lot of smiles out there. School must be back in session, right? What a weird summer, though. Don't get too comfortable. Our first snow day is coming next week, I think, at the rate we're going. We're going to have a terrific program for you this morning. We are, this year, and I'll let you give yourselves a round of applause. We are setting a record again. More than 1,000 of you. We're going to raise over $210,000 this morning, so give yourselves a round of applause for that. How about that? And I promise, no Miley Cyrus. There will be no twerking on this stage. It's Holt and it's Trigg. You're safe. All right? Look forward to hearing from Dr. Tom. Enjoy your breakfast. We have some videos for you to enjoy as well, and we'll be back with our terrific program in about 20 minutes. Thank you again for being here this morning. Blue Valley is truly blessed. many of you are new to this event? Let's see a show of hands. Wow, that's awesome. Did you make lunch plans? Holt and Trigg are running this show, an anchor and a school superintendent, so leave room for lunch. Right, Tom? Just kidding. We rock and roll at this community breakfast as we are glad to have you here, whether you're a rookie or a longtime supporter. I see a lot of familiar faces out there. A longtime supporter of this school district is a guy by the name of Monty Spradling. He's your new Board Educational Foundation president. He's been on the board since 2009, also been involved in planning this breakfast over the last few years, and vice president at UMB. Monty, another terrific year. Please join me on stage. Say hello to Monty Spradling, your board president, and Ann Blessing, your executive director of the Blue Valley Ed Foundation. Gang, it's all yours.
And the bankers will keep it brief, I promise. But John and I were talking before we got here, and I think this is his 10th year being MC, so we do want to thank John Holt very, very much, and Fox 4, of course. A little intimidating to see this size of a group. Wow. Listen, thank you for being here. We are thrilled with the attendance. This is a record-breaking breakfast. As John said, this is our 23rd breakfast, and because of your support, we've raised $210,000 today. So he's already said it, but give yourselves a round of applause. You know, there are many guests here this morning that I'd like to thank, recognize, and ask them to stand. Our elected officials and legislators at the state, county, and city level, as well as Kevin Yoder. I know I've seen Congressman Kevin Yoder. If you all would please stand, all elected officials, please stand and be recognized. Thank you, thank you. All right, Blue Valley Education Foundation Board of Directors, please stand and be recognized. This is a great group. Please stand. Where are you? Come on. There we go. And I'd also like to thank the business people, parents, building administrators, staff, and the Blue Valley NEA for all their support this year. With your help, the foundation has now given out more than $2.7 million to students and teachers in grants, scholarships, and special programs since 1992, and that's a phenomenal amount. And now Ann Blessing, our phenomenal director, executive director, has some news for you.
Thank you, Monty. Good morning, Blue Valley. We are so grateful for all of our wonderful school and community partners. Your support is essential to our work, which is to enhance educational excellence for every student in Blue Valley. I am thrilled to announce this morning excuse me, that we have a new partnership with a wonderful learning resource that will be opening soon in our community, the Museum of Prairie Fire. We are delighted to kick off this collaboration with a special card you have at your seat for the museum's upcoming World's Largest Dinosaurs exhibit from October 8th through January 2nd. This exhibit is the first of the cutting-edge exhibitions developed by the American Museum of Natural History that will visit the Museum of Prairie Fire through a unique collaboration between these two museums. When you attend the exhibit and present this card, the museum will donate $2 of your ticket price to BVEF. It will also donate a portion of every membership sold to BVEF. I want to thank Fred and Candy Merrill and Linda Segerbrecht, the executive director of the Museum of Prairie Fire, for this wonderful support of the foundation and for their support of educational excellence in our community. They're all here with us today. Let's thank them. I also want to make special mention that we are celebrating 15 years of our Sunflower Ambassador program. Dr. Trigg will present and recognize the 2013 ambassadors later in the program, but I would like to take a minute now and honor the founder of this important character education program, author and philanthropist Barbara Unell. Barbara's here with us today. Barbara, please stand so we can recognize you. We have created a special commemorative booklet to celebrate 15 years of our Sunflower Ambassadors. There are copies of this booklet at each school-sponsored table, and there are additional copies in the back of the room for anyone who would like to have this keepsake. Now I'm going to turn the microphone back to Monty so that we can recognize this year's breakfast sponsors.
Thank you, Ann. And we do, again, amazing turnout, and we have amazing sponsors, and we want to recognize them at this time. I'll direct your attention to the sponsor listings, and this thing's giving me some feedback. Yeah, in your program, particularly the table and sustaining sponsors. As you can see this list, these companies are the bulk of our support. Each of you is crucial to our success, and we truly, truly appreciate your presence at this event today. By the way, Deffenbaugh Industries is a table sponsor, yet we did not make that in the program. We apologize for that, but we do want to recognize them. Also, I'd like to read the names of our investing sponsors. They are Black & Veatch Corporation, Menorah Medical Center, and the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation. And finally, we'd like to give special recognition to our presenting and underwriting sponsors. Their banners are on display here. First, I'd like to recognize our underwriting sponsors, Garmin International, Main Street Credit Union, and RSP & Associates. Would you all please stand and be recognized? And finally, our presenting sponsors, Capital Federal Savings. Now, Capital Federal, longtime wonderful supporter of us, they had a bank meeting in Topeka and are unable to attend today, but we certainly want to recognize them for their support throughout the years. Durham School Services, would the representatives from Durham please stand up and be recognized? Thank you. And our third presenting sponsor is Shawnee Mission Medical Center. Robin and all your group, would you please stand and be recognized? It's all yours.
The final sponsor that we'd like to recognize is our Blue Valley parent organizations. All 34 Blue Valley PTA and PTO groups together, yes, all 34, 100%, provided the largest sponsorship for this event. On behalf of our board of directors, I want to thank you all for this wonderful show of support. At this time, would all of those here representing a school please stand and be recognized? Congratulations. Please join me in one final round of applause for all of our sponsors. At BVEF, we fund grants that enhance educational excellence for all Blue Valley students. The funding provided by you, our breakfast sponsors, helped fund more than 40 teacher and district-wide grants this past school year. All BVEF grants support the vision of our school district as articulated in the district's strategic plan. And I'm very pleased this morning to share with you a grant that supports both goals of the district's strategic plan for each student in Blue Valley. Goal 1, unprecedented academic success, and Goal 2, unparalleled personal responsibility. Please take a look at the video.
Thanks to a grant funded by the Blue Valley Educational Foundation, the Empty Bowls Project continued in its 4th year. The grant began with middle school students hearing stories from people who have benefited from the True Light Resource Center. They then worked with poet, author, and actor Bonnie Tolson on the elements of a poem and crafted an impactful and emotional message.
Poetry isn't about rhyming, it's about making an impact and getting your message across in using words that make a difference in somebody's life.
One of the girls' stories was they lived outside and at one point they didn't have any shelter. So I think that someone maybe might want to put that in their poem.
Once the poems were written, students blogged with participating elementary, middle, and high school students who took their poetry and made it into a piece of art.
We use symbols and we talked about colors and patterns and ways to communicate literacy into visual literacy.
On the outside of the bowl, it's all dark colors to represent like sadness and darkness, and so it's like purples and deep dark colors. And then on this side, it is a girl that is sleeping on a bed, and she has a pillow, and she's dreaming of happy things, so like being by a warm fire.
Part of Blue Valley Virtues is showing compassion, generosity, respect, and responsibilities. And it's always good for our students to reflect and think about how fortunate that they are, but yet understand and raise empathy for those people who are less fortunate.
And as you know, I was blessed to be on the bus that awarded that group a Sunflower Grant this last year. Actually, I've visited that classroom a couple of times, and it is a wonderful program, as are so many of the others. And in fact, I hope you had a chance to visit with Rhonda Hassig and So Choi out front. And those of you who are sustaining sponsors or sustaining members have one of those bowls at your table today. And I would like to invite Anna Woluk from Leawood Middle School. She's here. And Dr. Trigg, if you would come up, she has a special presentation she'd like to make to you. Anna?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. What a wonderful program, and how special to get this from you. I will display it proudly, I promise. Thank you,
Anna. All right, Dr. Trigg, don't go too far. It's just about your moment. As many of you know, I am a proud parent of 2 Blue Valley students who've flown the coop and have moved on, but in the process, what a wonderful experience to have been a parent in this school district. And one of the reasons is the leadership, which, as you know, is solid, but also trickles down, right down to the staff and the teachers at each and every school building here. And it's been my privilege and honor to introduce Dr. Trigg over the last few years as your State of the School District speech gets underway. Dr. Trigg, of course, has been a long-time administrator with this school district. He's been your superintendent since 2005. And is he good? You bet he is. How good? Well, in 2011, he was honored as the State Superintendent of the Year and a finalist as National Superintendent of the Year. He's always our Superintendent of the Year. Please welcome again, with the good news about your school district, Dr. Tom Trigg. Tom?
Thank you. Thank you, John. Well, John, thank you so much. Well, hey, welcome, and thank you so much for being here this morning. It's just kind of overwhelming. You look at, and record-setting, I think we have about 1,100 people here. I heard mentioned $210,000 raised. We are so blessed to have the partnership that we do with the Educational Foundation. So I'd just like to recognize Ann and Laura and Cindy one more time for putting this together and for all the things that the foundation does that, quite frankly, we would not be able to do for our students if it was not for your fundraising efforts and the support that you provide us. So 3 of you, thank you once again. I have a confession that I need to make. Let me start out with a confession today. And in order to make that, I need to tell a quick story. The people that put this together hate it when I get off script, but sometimes it just has to happen. So 6 months ago, one evening, my wife and I were sitting at home and the phone rang, and it was my oldest daughter, Mandy, and her husband, Steve. A little unusual for them both to be calling us. And I think I answered the phone, and they said, well, can both you and Mom get on the phone? You probably know where this is going. And we said, sure, and lo and behold, they shared with us that they were expecting what would be our first grandchild. She was about 3 months along. And obviously, that phone conversation went very, very well. Lots of enthusiasm and congratulations and whatever. But I'm thinking in the back of my mind, okay, 3 months, 6 months from now, August, mid-August, late August, Ed Foundation breakfast, what if I have a decision to make? And quite frankly, there wasn't going to be much of a decision to make. They're in Amarillo, Texas, by the way, 9 hours away. So I didn't tell Ann, did not want to worry her at all. But, I did have the peace of mind or presence of mind to ask Mandy, well, so what is the due date? She said, well, we're not exactly sure, but August 26th, 27th, 28th. Sometime right in that vicinity. And I'm thinking, I didn't say this, thankfully. I mean, this is a mark of a good dad. I didn't say it, I thought it. Mandy, why didn't you check with me? Why didn't you get some input before you all decided that this was something that you were going to do? So anyway, here's what I want to let you know. Not only is my new granddaughter Elizabeth beautiful, but she is a problem solver because she decided on her own to come 9 days early. So I want you to meet Elizabeth. Well, thank you for that little personal journey. You know, we have a great theme for today. We can do anything, we can be anyone. And isn't that really what we want for our kids? Don't we want them to believe that they can do anything, that they can be anyone? And don't we want to set expectations for them so that they can rise and meet those expectations? And then really, don't we want them to exceed those expectations, have choices when they graduate from high school? I don't think it was intentional, but the theme today really meshes well with the vision of our school district. Now, I can't take credit for the vision. I've been with the district 17 years, and this vision was in place before I came to the district. And I'm sure it was created by a large group of people coming together and trying to decide what is it that we want for our kids here in Blue Valley. But the vision together, we will enable each child to be more than he or she ever hoped to be. That's exactly what we want for all 22,000 plus of our kids. So this morning, we're going to take that theme, we can do anything, we can be anyone, and we're going to explore that through 5 beliefs. We have 5 belief statements that are going to organize our thoughts for us today. Number 1, we need to believe in each other. Number 2, we've got to believe in the plan. Thirdly, we've got to believe that we can overcome challenges as they occur. We've got to believe we can be best in the world. And then finally, we've got to believe in our kids. And we'll spend most of our time with that 5th one about believing in our kids, because those really are the highlights for today. So let's start with believing in each other. You know, it's really important that our community believe in the school district. And quite frankly, you have 7 representatives who do such a great job of conveying that belief to our kids, to our staff, to our administrative team. And those 7 people form our Board of Education. They provide vision for us, they provide direction for us, they provide oversight for us. They are a phenomenal collaborative partner in this whole thing. So I want to introduce them to you this morning. I'm going to ask that you hold your applause until we've introduced all of them. Pam Robinson, Board of Education President. Mike Seitz, Board of Education Vice President. Cindy Bowling, by the way, happy birthday. Sue Matson. Tom Mitchell. Stacy Obringer-Varhall. And Tony Till's not able to be with us today, but he does send his best regards. So let's recognize them for the work they do. Another part of this whole belief is collaborating with the community and letting the community know that we not only believe in the community, but we want to serve the community. We had a group of employees that came together, came up with an idea this last year that I want to highlight for you, because I think it personifies for us the commitment that we have as a school district to getting out and serving the community as well. So if we could run that next video.
Hunger. More than 375,000 people in the Kansas City area are food insecure. They don't know where their next meal is going to come from. Harvester's Community Food Network is striving to serve those in need.
Harvester's mission is to feed the hungry today and to work to end hunger tomorrow.
Blue Valley wanted to be part of this mission.
We recognized as a department, it's inevitable serving all the students that we do in the schools that we're going to have some food left over. I reached out to them to find out if there was more that we could do to take some of that leftover food items and get that into the community.
As a result, the district established the innovative Blue Valley Food Recovery Program. By having adequate freezer space, food service staff at all Blue Valley high schools and 3 combo school locations properly store leftovers from school lunches for harvesters to pick up twice a week.
Not only now do they get a chance to impact all the students with the meals that we serve every day in the schools, now we're reaching outside of the community, so it's really been a tremendous experience for our staff.
We serve here, which is, we wouldn't be in this job if we didn't enjoy serving. But to know that we're serving outside these walls is even better.
By their believing in what they're doing and they're helping Harvesters in its mission, it's the only way it could happen.
According to Harvesters and Feeding America, Blue Valley is the only school district in the country with a food recovery program.
Feeding America is a national network of food banks, and we've checked with them, and they don't have any other food banks working with a school district like what we've started with the Blue Valley School District.
Hopefully we're setting a model for other school districts in the country that it can be done, and with a little effort that we could all nationally make an impact by being a part of a program such as this.
So we're very excited to be on the start of this and help create it. It's going to be a model that will eventually be spread throughout the country.
Donations from Blue Valley schools have provided more than 81,000 meals to more than 40 on-site feeding organizations. St. James Place, a food pantry and community kitchen, is one organization that greatly benefits from the program.
We serve almost 280 meals per evening for the needy of Kansas City here in Midtown. It's important that Blue Valley has stepped forward to say, we do want to do something, and so it's a great partnership.
The program is an excellent example of staff members having compassion for and responsibility to the community. Staff modeling how to be responsible and caring citizens is just another way to help students experience an education beyond expectations.
We hope by starting this program that it's recognized in the community and that our students see the impact that's being made, and that they can recognize the fact that it's something that they can also be a part of.
To let them know that we as a kitchen staff is also doing some type of community service and give it out to others.
To all those who are involved in this partnership in Blue Valley, I want to say thank you on behalf of everyone who has received the generosity that they have given. These things make a difference in people's lives.
I hope you caught the statement that we are the only school district in the country with this type of food recovery program. We want to be a role model for our kids as adults. We want to be a role model for other districts across the country. We just feel like this is an area, quite frankly, where we can really, really be of service. Community engagement is so important. I mean, if we have an engaged community, we're going to be a better school district for that. Our business community is extremely engaged with the school district. I'm going to talk about the CAPS program a little bit later, but that's a great example. 240 some business partnerships, just on a daily basis, businesses mentoring our kids, businesses coming in as guest speakers, actually guest teachers, those kinds of things. Working with individual buildings, we have building partnerships with businesses. One area that goes overlooked, I think, a lot of times because we really don't publicize it, but that's the financial area. Our businesses in this community pay taxes. They pay a lot of taxes. In fact, our businesses in this community paid over $52 million in taxes to help support the kids in Blue Valley last year. So those of you that are business leaders out there, business owners, I want you to know we recognize that. We understand that. We appreciate that, even though you don't get credit for those tax dollars publicly very often. But I wanted to publicly acknowledge that today because it's so important that the community understand the tremendous impact that the business community has on our kids and on our school district. Another way that you all show your support is by supporting us with bond issues. Last February of 2012, we put a bond issue out in front of the voters, and you overwhelmingly passed that bond issue. And right now, we have a lot of evidence of how that money is being spent. And I want you to know and understand that our Board of Education is providing tremendous oversight for the projects that we are putting together. Those dollars are being spent wisely. I might mention that we're bringing a lot of projects in under budget. This isn't in the script, but I should mention to you that our overall budget this next year, the tax burden is going to go down by 2 mills. I just want you to know our board is really providing tremendous oversight for the entire budget, but for our building program in particular. We have a lot of building improvements and reconstruction. We have a lot of technology, things that are happening. And we also have a lot of safety enhancements. I want to talk about those in particular for just a minute. Your Board of Education had the foresight to put $20 million in that bond issue for safety enhancements. And that was prior to the tragedy in Newtown, Connecticut. And because our board really is focused on the safety of our kids. A lot of those dollars are going towards more secure entryways, pinch point entryways. And we have right now about 2/3 of our buildings that construction is complete. A year from now, I'll be able to announce that every one of our buildings has that pinch point entryway. We are upgrading our camera systems. We're working with our principals to be sure that the drills that they run are run at inopportune times. We want to have safety drills during lunch, during recess, whatever, so that kids are prepared and know in the event that we would have some kind of a happening or of an occurrence. It's really important to us. But the thing I want you to take away, more than the hardware, more than the construction dollars, is really the basis for our plan. Because the basis of our plan really is pretty soft. It deals with relationships. Folks, we believe that if each and every kid has a minimum of one adult, one caring adult in a building that they can go to, that they can share with, something that they might see on Twitter, something that might come across a Facebook page, something that they might overhear someone saying, whatever, that those kinds of things, building those relationships, are going to pay dividends, not only in safety, but quite frankly in the personal growth of those kids. And so please know, we're a school district that really believes in and values relationships. You know, along with creating a safe environment for our kids, because our kids deserve it, our faculty deserves it, and quite frankly, we want parents to know that kids are coming to a safe environment every day, is our next belief, and that is we have to have a plan. Any business that's successful has a plan. They have a strategic plan. It's a plan that's accountable. And I want to remind you that back in 2005, this district convened a large number of patrons to come up with a strategic plan for this school district. And it was a very accountable plan. And then in 2010, we brought that same group and others together again to take a look and see if we were still headed in the right direction. And quite frankly, because of that plan and that focus, we've seen unbelievable things happen. Most of you have probably seen the Dancing Dots. How many of you have seen the Dancing Dots video? Okay, I'm not going to show it again. Those of you that didn't raise your hands, you have to promise me, go to our website, type in Dancing Dots in the search bar and watch the Dancing Dots video. You will be able to see the academic gains and achievement that are directly attributable to that strategic plan. Out of that plan comes our mission, unprecedented academic success and unparalleled personal growth for every student. For every student, not 22,000 minus one, but every student. Unprecedented academic success and unparalleled personal growth. That's what we're all about. We have two goals in this district. One deals with academics, the other deals with personal growth. The other thing that came out of that summit, those summits, was we have a hedgehog in this district. Most of you know and understand that I'm a big Jim Collins fan. I read everything that he puts out. I really buy into his philosophy. That really is the leadership philosophy that we have in Blue Valley. That's the vocabulary that we use. One of the terms in there is hedgehog. We have a hedgehog. A hedgehog for a not-for-profit organization is the thing that we believe we can be best in the world at, the thing that we're most passionate about. And for us, that's personalized student learning. We absolutely want to personalize learning for each and every student because each and every student is different. Each and every student has different needs, and we want to be sure that what we're doing is providing opportunities and chances for each and every one of our kids to succeed. The next belief statement deals with overcoming challenges. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on challenges. I'm just going to mention a couple. But first, I want to mention the fact that we take that Dancing Dots video, and that's in the past. That's why I'm not going to show that to you anymore, because that was based on the old Kansas standards. We have a new challenge in front of us, and that challenge includes upgraded and updated standards that are more rigorous. It's the Kansas College and Career Readiness Standards. Some people talk about that nationally as Common Core. Quite frankly, there's a lot of buzz about Common Core. Gallup poll just came out. 65% of the country doesn't even know what it is. So that means you're probably a part of that 35%. But what Common Core is, or what those standards are, quite frankly, are simply more rigorous standards. We're going to be expecting more out of our kids. We're going to be assessing them on things like problem solving and critical thinking, where in the past it's really been more rote type memory. So we're going to have a different set of assessments. It's a different set of challenges. It's something that we're going to embrace, because as a school district, we always want to raise the bar. We know that the minute we start thinking that we've reached the top, the minute that status quo becomes acceptable is the minute that we start declining. So know that we're going to embrace those standards, and we are absolutely going to help our kids attain those new standards, even though that means, quite frankly, 5th graders are going to be learning a lot of things that last year 6th graders learned. I mean, it's just the way it is. If we're going to compete globally, that's what we have to do. So that's a challenge for us, but it's a good challenge. The second challenge I want to mention, quite frankly, is financial. It deals with revenue coming into the school district, because we've been, quite frankly, pretty strapped over the last 4 or 5 years as the recession took hold. And the current state finance formula caps us at a revenue level. We need, and our local legislators that are here today know this, and I've talked with each of them individually, and they're all in favor of this, we need additional local control measures. We need to be able to go above and beyond to a greater extent to raise revenue locally for our kids here locally than currently that state formula allows. And so once again, I encourage our state legislators to continue to work to that end for us. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out one thing that happened in the last legislative session that most of you are probably not aware of. There's a little thing called Senate Bill 23. It didn't get much notoriety, but it was one of those situations where we worked really hard with our local delegation to put together a piece of legislation that, quite frankly, didn't increase the amount of revenue that the Blue Valley School District was going to get, but actually slowed the rate at which it was going to decline. I mean, doesn't that sound crazy? But what happens is, with extraordinary growth, you lose that money once you build buildings over a 3-year time period. And we asked for legislation that we could lose it over a 6-year time period. In other words, to kind of gradually even out that decline. Very controversial, quite frankly. But I want to tell you, the legislative leadership that we had, all of the Johnson County delegation, every single one of them, not only voting for that, but lobbying and working behind the scenes with their fellow legislators from across the state of Kansas, we were able, by the narrowest of margins, to get that approved. And I want to tell you, there are 4 districts in Johnson County, 4 of the 6 that are absolutely ecstatic that happened. So I want to publicly say that and thank the legislators that were here for working with us on that very specific and dynamic piece of legislation, because that was so important to us. Okay, challenges. Let's talk about our next belief. You know, I really think that we are one of the top school districts in the country. Now, there are probably many superintendents this morning across this country making that same statement, because everybody wants to believe that they're one of the top districts in the country. What I want to do, though, is go to external validation. I don't want you to think that because your child's doing really well. I don't want you to think that because the superintendent stood up here and said that. I want you to think that because it's based in fact, it's based in data. Most of you that know me know I'm pretty left brain, concrete, sequential. I love data. We're not going to do very many slides, just a few. This is my 10th one of these. First year, the most feedback I got was, cut down on the data. You know, people don't want to see this data. So instead of 20 slides, we're going to have 4 or 5. But let's talk about why I believe we are one of the best districts in the country. Let's talk about ACT scores. Really nice article in Kansas City Star this morning dealing with ACT scores. It was in the 913 section. And what it points out to, is that once again, our kids continue to lead the Kansas City metro area by a long ways in terms of their performance on the ACT, which is a national assessment. We actually jumped 0.2 to 25.0 to match the highest that we've ever had. But I want to put that in context because the important piece here is that 93% of our kids took that test. Across the state of Kansas, when you're comparing the state of Kansas score, which is about 21.8, well below the 25.0, only about 80% of the kids across the state are taking it. We've got 93% of our kids. The greater percent of kids, the lower your score is probably going to be. I mean, the bigger challenge it is. So we jumped up to 93%, and we hit our all-time high at 25.0. So let's hear it for those kids academically. Advanced placement. I want to talk just real quickly about advanced placement exams and scores. You're going to see the last 4 or 5 years there's some really, really good scores in AP. Once again, the behind-the-scenes story is more and more kids are taking AP classes and AP tests. And that's a really good thing. And the fact that we're able to increase our average score, folks, this is money saving for parents. I mean, this is college credit stuff here. I mean, this is, you get a 4 or 5 on your AP exam, most colleges give you credit and you don't have to pay tuition for that. You can take something else or actually lower your tuition or whatever it is. Really, really important, but our kids are just doing outstanding when it comes to AP. One of the indicators that I am most pleased about is return rate after the freshman year in college. The blue bar is the Blue Valley return rate. About 94% of our kids that go to college their freshman year go back for their sophomore year. We get this data from the National Clearinghouse. Compared to a little over 50% nationally, but I want to have full disclosure here. The green line is for 4-year colleges. We couldn't find 4-year, 2-year combined for the nation, so we just went ahead and put the 4-year up there. Ours is for everybody. But folks, that's what we're all about. Those kids that choose to go to college, we want to be successful. We want them college ready. We don't want them college eligible. We want them college ready. We want to know they're going to be successful when they go. And I think our teachers are doing a great job of helping kids get there. Fourth thing, what did I say, 4 or 5 slides? I'm on 4. We have a number of national publications now that rank and rate high schools, and they do them differently. Newsweek and Washington Post are 2 of those. Both Newsweek and Washington Post, we had all 5 of our high schools make those top high school lists. So we did a little bit of internal research because we wanted to know, as a district, how do we compare? For our size district, any district that has 5 high schools or more, so approximately 22 to 25,000 or more, there was no other district in the country that had all of their high schools on the Newsweek list, had all of their high schools on the Washington Post list, and then obviously had it on both lists. So once again, I believe external validation that something right is going on and we're up there amongst the national leaders. Fifth thing I want to mention is the CAPS program. And I just want, once again, for you to know and realize how unique this program is, the Center for Advanced Professional Studies. Kids that participate in the CAP program, we've got a couple of them sitting right down here in our robotics program, engineering, representing nearly 800 or 900 other kids that are a part of the CAPS program. They are having such a unique experience. And once again, it's validated externally. We won the Edison Award 2 years ago, the only public school district, as far as we know, to ever win an Edison Award. And then this last year, we won an award from an organization we didn't even know existed. It's like the National Business Innovative Incubator Award or something like that. I'm not minimizing that because it was unbelievable. We got to fly some people to Boston to get the award and whatever. But once again, the only public school in the nation to be nominated and then to go ahead and win in that category. It's just unbelievable, the kinds of things and recognitions that they're having. We had a seminar, a huddle this summer where we brought in 20 different districts from across the country that want to emulate what we're doing with CAPS. And we're doing everything that we can to make this a national model. So once again, just trying to show that I really believe that we are on a journey to being one of the very, very best in the country. Okay, I've talked a lot about the district. Let's bring it down to the student level. Let's talk about kids, and let's recognize some of our unbelievable students that we brought here this morning. ACT scores. 1.66 million kids take the ACT every year. Of that 1.66 million, 781 achieve a score 36, the top score. Last year, Blue Valley had 10 kids of that 781 that achieved that top score. It's an incredible, incredible feat. We have some of those kids here with us this morning. Some have already gone off to college. Some, their parents are here because they can't be here. Others, it's just the students. But I want to introduce them to you, have them stand. I'd like for you to hold your applause until I've introduced all of them and just recognize the unbelievable academic performance of these kids. First, Emmeline Lorenzo. Luke Chen, I want you to stand, and you stand and your family stand too. I want your parents to stand up too because they're a big part of it. Stand and stay standing. We want to get a really good look at you. All right. Emmeline Lorenzo, Luke Chen, Jack Chen, Alec Newport, Luke Connors, Daniel O'Toole, Calvin Cochran. Let's applaud these and those who were not able to be with us this morning. Amazing accomplishment. U.S. Presidential Scholar Program is one of the most prestigious awards bestowed upon any graduating senior. It deals with academics, it deals with character, it deals with leadership, and with community involvement. Last year, we had a record 19 different students that qualified as candidates, and just the qualifying credentials are unbelievable. Typically, only 2 students from each state are recognized. Once in a while, for whatever reason, you get a 3rd student from your state, and that's actually what happened to the state of Kansas this year. But of those 19, we actually had 2 students, Gabri Schreiber and Jean Song, that were named National Presidential Scholars. Gabri's a freshman at University of Maryland. It's my understanding he's on his way there and is not with us this morning. I don't know if his parents were able to make it or not. He is a Banneker Key Scholar pursuing interests in politics, law, public policy, and public service arenas. So some of you elected officials, look out. Jean is entering her freshman year at University of California, Berkeley, double majoring in economics and business administration. She plans to obtain her PhD in economics. You know, they each get to pick a special teacher to go with them to Washington, D.C., someone that's really impacted their lives positively. And those teachers this year, one of these you've seen for the last 7 or 8 years, but Michelle Bush, Blue Valley North enrichment teacher, but this year also Sherry Unruh, Blue Valley Northwest English Language Arts teacher. I'd like for them to stand, and if the parents of Jean or Gabri are here, or they happen to be here, they would stand as well. Let's recognize these teachers and whoever is here. You know, Gabri and Jean are amazing examples of kids who believed that they can do anything, who believed that they could be anyone. And once again, that's what we want for each and every one of our kids. Okay, one of the best in the nation. What's next? Well, you may have guessed it, and that was the 4th belief. We've got to believe we can be best in the world. Our Board of Education held a one-day retreat last June with the administrative team. And we looked at our strategic plan, and we tried to determine if we could come up with some strategic initiatives that were a part of that plan, but something we could really focus on that, quite frankly, would challenge us to be sure that we weren't complacent. And we came up with this particular strategic initiative that you see on the screen. We will create and implement a system that will result in our students being among the world's leaders in academic achievement. World's leaders. There again, it's just a bunch of words if there's no accountability. So let's talk about how we might be able to measure this. I'm going to show you some data again. I apologize in advance. But quite frankly, this data, while it's good, is not great. But it gives us room to improve. And that's what we're all about. It allows us to set our sights higher than they are now. I'm going to talk about the PISA exam, the Program for International Student Assessment. In the past, individual school districts could not give that exam. You didn't know how your kids that might have been randomly selected to be a part of the national sample did. But about a year ago, we had a group that worked through this and actually made it possible for individual school districts to give the exam randomly to 15-year-olds within their district. Now, I see the first slide is up there, and that's science, and I know you can't read it, and that's okay, because I'm going to give you a close-in version here in a second. But I just wanted you to get the idea there. About the 6th or 7th bar down says Blue Valley, and then about, below halfway down is where it says United States. Okay, let's go to the next slide, and this is science, by the way. This is how our kids did in science. You'll see several school districts, several countries scored better than our kids did. And I'm not embarrassed about that, but I am challenged, and I think that we need to do something about that. Let's go on to the next one. I think math is the next one. Here again, you get the general perspective. We actually did a little better in math than we did in science. The United States as a whole did quite a bit worse, unfortunately. Let's zero in on that one real quick. You'll notice there again, we've got several countries, within reach, I think. Let's go to reading, because I saved the best for last. Reading, we did, really pretty well. I think we were 4th when we compare ourselves globally. United States did better. They're about in the middle. So basically, what we've got to do is we've got to put programs in place where we do a great job on the new Kansas assessments that are going to be coming out. But in addition to that we start comparing better nationally so that we know our kids are globally prepared. So you've probably figured out, if you looked at those countries in front of us, what our short-term goal is. It's really, really simple. Beat Finland. We got to beat Finland. They are right above us in 2 of those 3 categories. We've got to beat Finland. We've got up there #beat Finland. I think we're going to have some fun with this. Those of you that are Twitterers, I think we're going to ask our schools, as they're doing kinds of things and lessons that we think are going to provide our kids the kind of education to help them surpass Finland. We're going to maybe tweet that stuff out and put a little #beat Finland on it. Kind of keep record of that. So those of you that are tweeters, is that a word? Selfish plug, I am on Twitter. I think I have 38 followers. By 10 o'clock, I expect 1,138. But the Blue Valley School District also has a Twitter account, and you're much better served if you, I'm going to use a Facebook term, I'm not on Facebook, but do whatever you do to attach yourself to our Twitter account. I think it would be great and greatly appreciated. Then long term, our goal has to be what? To beat Shanghai. Shanghai's #1 all the way through. Shanghai, China, #1 all the way through. We've got to incrementally increase and improve our scores so that we actually eventually come out on top, because that is what our goal's going to be. It absolutely is. Okay, let's move on to our final section, believing in our kids. We've got to believe in each other. We've got to believe in the plan. We've got to believe that we can overcome challenges, believe that we can be best in the world, and absolutely believe in our kids. We do a lot of Goal 2 work. I've talked a lot about academics, but we've got a lot of great things going on in terms of that personal growth piece. 18 of our schools last year were named Presidential Schools of Service. Relay for Life, we had 3 high school combined, and they were 17th in the country, raising $125,000 for Relay for Life. And that's 17th out of post-secondary as well. That's not just high schools. That's total educational institutions, colleges, and everyone. You saw earlier the CAPS program working together with our various middle schools and the kinds of things that they're doing. Those are just some of the examples. But sometimes personal growth isn't about what students are doing for others, but it's about the changes that take place in a particular student when someone believes in them. Every student needs to know that somebody believes in them. We have a freshman here with us today, Kevin Pinter of Blue Valley North, that I think would really agree. So let's take a look at his story.
Personalized student learning. It's what we do best. There are a number of ways that we personalize the learning for each and every one of our students. students like Kevin Pinter.
Kevin was very nervous about coming to school.
His very first visit here, he would barely come into our room.
For most students, middle school is an exciting time, but for students like Kevin, who have characteristics of autism spectrum disorder, their journey can look very different.
Each year, it just got a little bit harder for him, and the main thing is you could just see when he went to school in the morning, he had this look of fear in his eyes.
He was incredibly anxious about going to class, about doing his work, interacting with others. He spent a lot of time having lunch in the Navigator room rather than in the cafeteria.
Kevin's parents and teachers began working together to identify supports for him, including the Navigators program.
It's a center-based program for students who have characteristics of the autism spectrum disorder, and we serve really their social, emotional, and organization needs.
But Kevin's story is about more than the Navigators program. It's about the Overland Trail Middle School family.
I just feel like there have been people who just support him all day long.
And we always talk about as a staff, if you can connect a student to the building, then they're going to find it as their home.
Mrs. Lewis, she talks all the time about wrapping our arms around kids and loving them, and just the whole school. This is our atmosphere. This is Overland Trail Middle School. This is what we do for kids. We just wrap our arms around them. We love them. This is what Kevin needed.
For Kevin, it wasn't just that special atmosphere. It was the people who encouraged him and challenged him to do more than he thought he could.
Robert, our daytime custodian, has been such an incredible support and friend to Kevin. He'll joke around with Kevin, and Kevin really views Robert as his big brother.
There is no way he would have ever done a sport without that Coach Long making sure that he was talking to him in PE class, seeing him at lunch, seeing him in the hallways, calling home.
We wanted some camaraderie between his classmates and him, between the coaches and him, and we just wanted him to feel a part of it.
Yes, I did play football this year. Of course, I was pretty terrible at it, but Coach Long wouldn't think I was. He gave me the Determined Award after our final game.
They step out and do those small but sometimes extraordinary things that will make the difference in this child's career here at OTMS.
And those small things added up to big changes.
I know that when parents and teachers work together, miracles can happen. And that is what's happened with Kevin Pinter.
Every year I've seen him grow with more and more confidence. I think the teachers and staff have made a huge difference in that, and now he's unstoppable.
He likes to be in front, of people and an audience, and be with a group and performing.
It's true. I feel very, very confident. Now I sit with my friends at lunch
And Kevin has made a difference in the lives of the Overland Trail Middle School family.
Kevin has left an impression on this school like few others have. And it's not just Kevin that's gained. I've gained from Kevin, and many others have gained from Kevin.
Kevin is someone who's going to be very special in life. He's going to go to college. He's going to do well.
The program at OTMS has been very, very helpful for me, and I just want to say that I am really going to miss all the staff, and I love this school very much, and I'm going to miss it.
It has been just the best experience that I could imagine for middle school. It's just been a great feeling.
Kevin, would you and your parents stand and be recognized? We're blessed to have you with us this morning. You know, in honor of Kevin being here this morning, you may have been greeted by the Blue Valley North Mustang mascot out there in the lobby. And I want you to know that that mascot's a very special mascot, and it was provided by the Blue Valley Educational Foundation with a grant. That mascot is for our Navigators program, which is the program that Kevin's a part of at Blue Valley North. We had Jack Kerwin was one of Kevin's fellow students that was in that that particular mascot this morning. Jack, are you around? Once you stand way back in the back, thank you for doing that for us. See, that particular mascot is different than most that you're going to see on the sideline. That one actually has a fan inside. The mascot itself, it does not touch the skin of the people inside of it. We pump white noise in there, and it allows kids a very, very safe environment. So now kids in the Navigators program can feel a part of the student body because they can be out there on game night in a mascot costume, where before it would have been much more constraining for them. So anyway, Blue Valley Ed Foundation, thank you for meeting that need. You know, in the video, we saw Coach Gerald Long. Coach Long believed in Kevin. He knew that Kevin could do anything, that he could be anyone. He challenged Kevin each and every day. Coach Long believes in all of his students at Overland Trail Middle. He supports them so that they can do anything and be anyone. This last spring, Coach Long was recognized as a Sunflower Ambassador by the Blue Valley Education Foundation. Sunflower Ambassadors are folks that exhibit the Blue Valley virtues. Today, we've got Coach Long and Sunflower Ambassadors, the adults from all across the district that are here along with their nominators. I would like for them to please stand and be recognized. Adult Sunflower Ambassadors. Thank you for all you do. We also have some very special students here today that are part of the Sunflower Ambassador program. And I'd like to ask for all of the 2013 student Sunflower Ambassadors and their nominators, if you would please make your way up to the stage at this time. Come on up. Come on up. 15 years ago, the Blue Valley Educational Foundation embarked on a character education program that's rooted in the Blue Valley virtues. Compassion, courage, honesty, perseverance, respect, responsibility, and self-discipline. Over the years, more than 900 students and staff have been recognized for exhibiting these 7 traits.
I believe every student needs that one teacher or that one person that no matter how old they get, they'll never forget the impact that teacher made on their life. Not only is Miss McCabe that teacher for me, she's that teacher for tons of students.
Isabel always thinks about others first. Like for her birthday last year, she didn't want presents. She wanted money to donate to Wayside Waves.
Imagine coming to school every morning and getting a huge smile and tight-warm hug, plus a few laughs to start your day. I am lucky to get these things every day by a 7th grader at Pleasant Ridge Middle School named Reagan Whiteman.
I nominated Jack McGuire because he's always honest. He shows honesty because when somebody does something wrong and the teacher asks him if the person who is telling on the person who is doing something bad, even if it is his friend, he tells the truth. Whenever Josh walks through a room, he's kind and helpful to everyone in it. If I had a dime for every time Josh did something nice for someone else or helped someone, I'd be a millionaire.
I remember one time when me and Caitlin were getting our lunch and the lunch lady forgot to make us pay. Caitlin had the idea to go back and pay for it.
Let me tell you, he has a lot of friends, and unlike some people, he is able to judge his friends by what their character is and not what they look like.
When somebody is sitting alone at lunch, Celia gets up from the table that she is already sitting at and moves to sit with that person, whether or not she is friends with them.
And here are your 2013 Sunflower Ambassadors and nominators. This is a program that's been going for 15 years that we really, really believe in. You know, each year the foundation sponsors personal growth initiatives through the ambassador program, through classroom and district-wide grants. The culmination of these efforts, quite frankly, can be seen when you look at these young people up on the stage. And it's your support of the foundation, it's your dollars for this breakfast and other donations, quite frankly, that put to work that allow this kind of thing to happen. Allows these people here on the stage, these young people, to stand up for what's right, to care for one another, to recognize when someone is in need, and to lead the way for all 22,000 of our students. In fact, kids, you can do anything. You can be anyone if each and every one of us in this room, parents, teachers, staff members, patrons, businesses, elected officials, if we simply believe, if we believe in each other, believe in the plan, believe that we can overcome challenges, believe we can be best in the world, beat Finland, believe in our kids. Folks, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for believing. I want to thank you for supporting us. Could not be more proud of our district, of our students, our staff, of your community. It's going to be an awesome school year, and I hope you enjoy our closing video, and then we'll be dismissed. Here's our closing video.
Are we strong enough? Can we make the cut? Can we cross the finish line? Make it out in time? Can we pass the bar? Can we make the grade? Can we make it on our own? Make it all alone? Can we pull it off? Can we save the day? Will we stop to recognize and start to realize we can do anything, we can be anyone? Just close your eyes and try to see. We can do anything, we can be anyone. Just close your eyes and try to see. We can do anything, we can be anyone. Just close your eyes and try to see. We can do anything, we can be anyone. Just close your eyes and try to see. We can do anything, we can be anyone. Just close your eyes and try to see. If you believe, if you believe.
And congratulations, Grandpa. And most of all, thank you, Elizabeth. Good timing. Only one man gives a State of the District address like this guy right here. Tom, from dancing dots to tweeting, cutting edge right here. What is it, at Tom Trigg?
It's actually Trigg Tom, but...
Okay, he's not quite that cutting edge. At Trigg Tom, followers, you want followers.
That's right.
And at BV Schools. Thank you all for being here today. I got to tell you, twice a year, fall and spring, I jump on a bus and we go around with our surprise squad. You've seen some of the pictures. November 4th, I cannot wait. We're going to take some of the money we raised this morning, the dollars you have graciously shared with us, and we're going to spend them wisely, I promise. These kids will benefit, their teachers will benefit. You will not be disappointed. So thank you for being here today. I'll see you tonight. and hashtag beat Finland. Have a great day. Good job, kids.